Welcome back to Dear Amber, everybody. Chinese Pod's insider's guide to everything China. Today we have a new Dear Amber series, a question on what kind of jobs are available for foreigners in China. Now, there's lots of jobs available, so we'll start today with a really good one, and we'll continue with more later. And a return appearance from our friends Galen and Robert K. on a subject that only guys know best, which is being a bachelor in China. This question comes from Luke, and Luke asks, Dear Amber, what kind of jobs are available for foreigners in China? So this is a good question to ask Ross, the newest employee at Chinese Pod. He's got a new job, but Ross has had a lot of jobs here in China, haven't you, Ross?
One or two.
One or two. So the job we're going to talk about today, we can kind of carry this on for quite a while because there are a lot of jobs for foreigners in China, of course. But we're going to start with a fun one today, which is Ross, the 帅哥. He's done handsome boy. Has done a lot of movie acting or TV acting. Is that right?
Yeah.
Some, right?
Yeah.
So, Ross, are you? I mean, you're pretty handsome, but are you qualified for this job? Have you had any? Are you an actor? In Ireland?
Not at all. Nothing. No experience whatsoever.
So there's no prerequisites.
Not at all. You just got to be foreign, basically kind of Westerner. And that's it.
And I think actually it helps if you have blonde hair, but Ross doesn't. So
it does. A lot
essential.
of the Scandinavians got a lot of work.
Yeah, I guess because they like to on Chinese TV. As soon as they see blonde hair, they can associate it with a foreigner, so they're kind of get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, definitely.
Us brown-haired people, we get the second-rate jobs. Okay, so first of all, maybe Ross, you can tell people because someone might be interested in doing this kind of work. How do you get a job as an actor in China?
Well, a lot of the students, when they're studying in Shanghai, get jobs doing extras because all the foreign students live in one dormitory or in one area. So it's easy for those agents to go and find foreign students. Otherwise, you can find them on the internet and stuff. But in this case, we were found. We didn't find.
Oh, they come and find you.
Yeah, they came and found us.
So what about the agents? Is it quite professional, like how it is in the West, or?
Oh God, no.
Can you trust them, or is there contracts? How does it work?
No contracts whatsoever.
Yeah?
No contracts whatsoever. They just say, there's a shooting tomorrow, 5:00 in the morning. Please be out at the front lobby, and that's it. And then you just hope that they pay you at the end of it. And they normally do. They normally do.
Usually they're pretty honest.
They're normally pretty honest, yeah.
That's good. And what's the pay like?
The pay for, let's say, for a day for a shoot could be between...
A lot of students of Chinese Pod tell us while they love to speak and listen to Mandarin, they are a bit intimidated to learn how to read and write in it because of the complexity of Chinese characters. That's why we created the 66 Characters series. Try it and see for yourself. 500
and 1,000 RMB.
Okay, so that's American, US, maybe $75 to 100.
Something like that, yeah. But the thing is, you work for a very, very short period of time. You actually work for a short period of time, but you're there from maybe 6 in the morning to maybe 6 at night.
Oh, just waiting.
Yeah, it's just sitting around doing absolutely nothing.
Well, that's pretty good money then. For China, maybe for home it doesn't sound like much.
It's good. Yeah, it's worth doing if you have a book to read or some friends to mess with. That's grand.
So, do you ever have to go to auditions, or how does that work?
For the bigger films, like for the film for Jet Li's film a couple of years ago, there were auditions for it. But for the smaller ones, for the dramas, for some kind of educational videos, for commercials, no, there's not really that many auditions. So I would not recommend the auditions unless you really, really want the job, because it just takes up so much time and you get paid nothing. I ended up going for a lot of jobs that were guaranteed to get paid because I wasn't going to waste my time.
Yeah, you can waste a lot of time because if you're not what they're looking for, they just want someone to come because the agent looks good when they bring a foreigner, right? So I found that even in Taiwan as well, often they would make you think you had the job, but then later you found out, oh no, it was just basically...
Yeah, all they do is pay for your cab fare and that's it.
If you're lucky.
You waste a whole day.
Yeah, that's so true. So Ross, tell us, have you been in any big,
films?
Have you been in any big movies? Can we see you on screen?
Well, the biggest film that I was involved in was Fearless from Jet Li.
Okay.
And that was a couple of years ago, shot in the Grand Hyatt in Shanghai. And it was a scene where... Michelle Yeoh from The Crouched Tiger, Hidden Dragon was presenting to the Olympic Council, presenting wushu, kung fu, and trying to get martial arts to be part of the Olympics 2008. So she was kind of she was proposing the idea of martial arts, and I was one of the Olympic committee that was making the decision and such. Unfortunately, that scene got deleted from the film.
Oh, you got cut.
I got cut, and
I'm sure it had nothing to do with you.
It had nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. It was a fantastic scene, and, but she actually wasn't very happy with it. So Jet Li and herself, I think, had a little bit of a tiff over it. But actually, at the end of that scene was the most enjoyable thing of that day. It was the last shooting of that whole film. It was the last scene, and at the end of it, our agent was supposed to be giving us our money, and we were waiting around for him to give us our money. And I was like, and he was taking ages, so we said, "Come on, go and get the money for us. We want to go home." So he went in, and he went into the hall and started having a discussion with the Hong Kong crew, and we heard a little bit of a noise and a little bit of argument. We went inside, and our agent was fighting with one of the Hong Kong team, and then all of the Hong Kong crew came along, about 20 or 30 people, and started attacking our agent.
Kung Fu fighting, or
yeah,
what?
Kung Fu fighting. They started picking up the chairs. This is in the Grand Hall in the Hyatt, throwing chairs, tables.
Get out.
They smashed them over the head with a champagne glass. And the fight broke out and went all the way through the Grand Hyatt, and it was incredible. It was vicious.
They should have filmed that and put it.
Yeah,
in
it was
the
much
movie.
better than the actual. Yeah, much better than the deleted scene.
Yeah.
So the police
it's always
came.
exciting
and,
in China.
Yeah, it was good. We got paid anyway in the end after about 3 hours of.
What a
fighting
devoted agent!
Yeah,
Kung Fu fighted for your pay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So, what about anything else? Have you been in like? I saw a picture of you in a pink tutu or something on your Facebook. Was that anything to do with?
One of the shows that a lot of students at Fudan did was Shanghai, OK Shanghai. And
what's that?
It is a game show where Chinese basically take the mickey out of Westerners. So they basically bring on people who don't have a clue about Chinese. And they talk in Chinese for the whole show, and they ask you to guess what they're saying. And when you guess what they're saying, you got to choose like kind of pieces of paper that describe exactly what they're saying.
That sounds like the weirdest
it's
game
just
show I've
ridiculous.
ever
So
heard.
I went on this show, and I had to wear this huge pink like dress with a big pink hat and stuff. And
it basically sounds like just a show to like laugh at foreigners.
it was basically,
they make you wear a
made
pink dress.
Yeah. We all look like complete
What
fools.
possessed you? When you got there, like, did you realize what it was all about? And then they're like, put on the dress, or
I was
what?
completely hungover in a day, and I was in a really bad
that probably
form.
helped.
And then I had to wear this stupid pink outfit, and then I didn't have a clue what they were saying, and then we had to do like tongue twisters and things like that
in Chinese.
And the worst thing, in Chinese.
What a spectacle.
I had just arrived in China, so I didn't have a clue what they were saying, and they were using Shanghainese as well. I was like, it was ridiculous.
So did you win, or?
Well, technically yes, but we basically played. We had one game, and I was like, oh, it was over. I was like, oh, thank God, it's over. A Korean girl won. And then I found out that they were shooting the whole month's episodes that day. So unless you won, you would have to do all 4 shows, which would take over 2 or 3 hours. So I did the second show, and I was getting really, really, really annoyed because I was pretty hungover.
No wonder I'm wearing a pink dress.
Yeah, and looking like a fool.
Yes.
And so after the second one, I was like, listen, I'm not going to do a 4th one. So I'll do the 3rd one, but I'm not going to do the 4th one. So I went to the director and I said, listen, would you mind like helping me out here and making me win so I can get off this show? And he managed to get one of the good Chinese speakers, and he got him to tell me all the answers.
Oh, perfect.
And I ended up winning the game, and I won like 3 crates of Foster's beer.
They knew the prize the foreigners would like anyway.
Yeah, even though I was the worst of the worst on the show, I still won it.
Oh, you're smart. You know, when in Rome, you got to use the right approach.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so those are pretty interesting. I mean, sure, maybe you're getting laughed at, but it's a good way to make a living. Yeah. So, do you think, Ross, is there anything people have to be careful of? Like, would you have any sort of like warnings for people, or?
Just don't waste your time. I mean,
people don't mind wasting your time.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a warning because I have a friend that something bad happened to. Was that an agent called her and told her she was going to do a commercial for a health supplement, So she thought that sounded pretty innocuous. Like, okay. So she went, and then when she got there, it was actually for penile erectile dysfunction. And there was an older man, and it was an infomercial, and she had to film all day, get in the bed with him and everything. It was horrifying. She was horrified. And she had to sit there and talk about his problem and pretend it was like they were a couple. So I think my warning would be, make sure you get all the information before you get into anything.
Yeah.
Unless you don't mind that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think I would. Okay, Ross, thank you so much.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chinese Pod Trivia. Our first question is, how long will it take you to become an intermediate Chinese speaker using the Chinese Pod app? Is it A, the rest of your life? B, you should already be an intermediate speaker? C, 3 months? Or D, Chinese Pod has an app?
You should already be in.
Ooh, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, 3 months. That's right. Head over to ChinesePod.com now to register for your access to over 4,000 lessons. Get the Chinese Pod app now on Google Play or the App Store.
Okay, our next question comes from a listener who asks, Dear Amber, what are living conditions for bachelors like in China? I know it's funny to ask me this question, so I've invited my two friends again, Galen and Robert. Thank you for coming back and answering this question. Some people who are actually qualified as bachelors. Okay, well, you're sort of bachelors, right?
Quasi-bachelor.
You were bachelors at one point, right?
I'm a bachelor.
In China. Okay, Robert's advertising now. Anyone who wants to know?
Should I say that again?
Okay, so you guys.
His picture will be on CPod shortly.
So you guys kind of have probably some experience in this, right? What do you say? What would you give? How would you answer this question for our listener?
I don't want to say anything that would be self-incriminating, but it depends how much money you have. With a lot of things, my living conditions at the time were not the best. So I wasn't living in a 5-star hotel, or I wasn't living at the Ritz. It was kind of a dumpy room with concrete walls with splash mosquitoes on them. And basically, I had a lot of girls. Over the course of the year, I met a lot of girls who wanted to get married. Just like that, after meeting me, who would bring it up.
Love at first sight.
Or 搞对象. I don't know about love at first sight. Potential financial support at first sight.
But when they saw your room, they probably were like...
Maybe
reneged the offer, maybe?
I don't know. I remember the first week I had one back in there, and we were in the bed. I just got her in. I was really excited. But then her phone rings and she picks it up, and it's her boyfriend in Shanghai. And she's on the phone with him for 15 minutes. So
okay, so this is good though. Bachelors, you got to be forewarned. Everything is not necessarily as it seems.
Well, I found
you get
out
a lot of attention, right? As a foreigner living here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's where I was living, it was a small town, and I stood out too much. A girl wants to marry you within the first 5 minutes or be your 对象. It's more sort of a very serious thing to put it like that. I just wanted nothing to do. I mean, I'm not going to marry a
girl in 5 minutes.
I'm not ready to especially at that point. I was broke, just learning. I was a student learning Chinese.
How about you, Galen? How was it for you when you're here by yourself?
Well, my story is a little different. My conditions, I guess, living conditions, I worked, I guess money is a deal too. It wasn't banking or anything. So I was living in a pretty basic accommodation in Shanghai. So, and there's a difference between our two stories. He was living obviously in a more remote place where, you see the white face. It's not a real common scene. For me, maybe where I was living, you definitely didn't see a lot of white people, but all in all, being in Shanghai, I didn't have a lot of people. Well, I'm also not as good looking as him, so I didn't have as many people coming up asking me to marry them in the first. No, so it's
But who has a girlfriend?
But yeah, what's up? Yeah,
looks ain't everything.
No, so
guess who broke up with 2 last week in Tokyo?
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
That was a joke.
So no, but I mean, I guess my experience, to talk about living as a bachelor here. It doesn't really count so much. I mean, I can tell you some funny things about when my girlfriend actually moved.
Oh yeah,
here.
tell us that.
That's a little.
Because she joined you. What a nice girlfriend.
Exactly. She's a teacher, so real, just cute and sweet little blonde American girl, just from Texas, just a teacher. And she moved out here, and within the first week, my place definitely wasn't all real nice pad or anything. My, guys just living by themselves for too long can probably die from it's not no sanitation or anything. I mean, it's just bad. So
And your IU was too busy like teaching you Chinese to clean the house. Right?
Yeah, right. That's my fault. I'd just be bothering her every day. Hey, how do you say that? How do you say that? How do you explain that? So she never got anything done. But within the first week, actually, my girlfriend Ashley, she. Let's see, the third night, my water heater broke, finally busted on me, flooded the entire apartment. I'm running downstairs in my boxers, waking up the security guys, telling them that, I'm flooding the whole place. That was interesting. That happened on the third night, so that was cool. She was a little like, okay, we're probably going to have to find a new place. And then, let's see, within the few days after that, she got appendicitis.
Oh my!
Yeah, it was my fault. Well, maybe I don't know, but I'm cheap.
I don't want to know how.
Yeah, I'm cheap. So yeah, how is it my fault that she got appendicitis? Well, I'll tell you, I'll be cheap. Trying to 省吃俭用, save some money, and I'd take her to this cheap little Sichuan restaurant right down the right next to the place. So I had her every day eating like
I wonder if in Sichuan a lot of people-
so she would be eating all these like Chinese food. And she's digging it. Well, what do you know? A few days later, she's totally sick, bending over. You can't even get out of the bed.
I heard in Sichuan that appendicitis is just rampant. It's an epidemic. No, I'm just kidding. He's blaming the Sichuan
Rob, go
food.
with it, dude. Just go with it, man. Go with it.
I'm just kidding.
So anyway, so I've had some really interesting experiences. I think
I heard that you also had a girlfriend come visit, right? Or an ex-girlfriend.
Oh, man, this is fun.
Yeah,
One of the many?
my ex from my ex from San Francisco. She came out to visit me, and she's Asian American, but she's mostly American, and she came out to visit me, and we went Beijing, and then she went up to Dandong with me, up on the border with North Korea, and she got up there. We got in a huge fight in Beijing, and I left just instantly after like 2 or 3 nights, and then.
Hello, friends. This is Sarah Chung, a content creator for Chinese Pod. Each week, we find new topics relevant to you and send them to your mobile device. Currently, we have over 4,000 lessons on the app covering a variety of topics. A huge thank you to all of our subscribers who make this amazing journey possible for all. If you are not a subscriber and you would like to try us out with no obligation, go to ChinesePod.com and start your free 30-day trial. You have nothing to lose and so much to gain, so sign up now.
We talked the next day, and she apologized. I apologized. So she flew out to Dandong the next day to stay with me for a few days. And she got to my room, and she sat on the bed and started crying. I can't believe you live like this. And she was crying. Saw the dead mosquitoes all over the concrete walls. I said, I can't. And then like 5 seconds later, I can't believe you expect me to sleep in this bed with you. And it was, she got furious after she was crying. It was like this swing of emotions. And I was flat broke. And, she had a good job in America, but she made me pay for the hotel room. So I was paying like 160 kwai, like $20 US. And my Ai, who doesn't speak any English, but who learned a little, after the girl left, since we were fighting so much, she would say, well, fine. And that's the only English she can say. She would imitate my ex-girlfriend.
I learned well fine.
Fine then. Like she can say well, fine, and fine then.
It's like women, we pick up that phrase very easily.
That's awesome.
Fine then.
So,
Fine then.
that was that. But she really liked the town, actually. And another story, I went back to Dandong a few months ago just for 4 or 5 days, and I went to the disco, Zhen Ai, the big disco in the town, Real Love. And they had like 3 or 4 girls who dance on the stage there, and this girl, she's drop dead gorgeous, like blonde hair.
Was it Real Love?
I don't know about it. Was love at first sight. 一见钟情. And so I really liked this girl. I smiled at her and waved, but I was only there for a few days. So I'm at my Ai's daughter. I'm staying at my Ai's place, and her daughter is saying to me,
This is the lesbian daughter we heard about
yeah,
earlier.
she said
previous DRM.
So she asked me, she said, did you go to Zhen Ai last night? There's a girl there who really wants to meet you. One of the girls dancing on the stage with blonde hair. I was like,
she's blonde, but she's Chinese, or
she dyed it, obviously.
Okay. It's a certain shade of blonde. We could call it blonde. Maybe if
Okay,
you've lived in China a long time.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I guess. And so I was like, no kidding. And so, because the Chinese girl said she saw a foreigner she called her friend called my friend. My friend asked me, the girl asked me, and I'm like, holy. So we arranged it. I ended up meeting the girl there that night, and before work, like I take her out to dinner the next day, or somehow like we arranged a meeting. I took her out. We went shopping I went shopping, and then I took her out to dinner before she had to go to work. And before she had to go to work, the girl said her cell phone battery was, died. So I was like, okay, I'll send you home in a taxi and then I'll leave. But she's like, no, you come up to my house. So I go up. I meet her whole family. I meet her dad, her mom. Like, this is, not a stripper, but like a dancer at the club. And I take her out on a date and she takes me back to meet her whole family. And I just thought it was really odd.
Wow.
I don't know if that's normal.
Bachelors, this too can be yours if you come to Dandong. What's it called?
Dandong.
Dandong.
Yeah. But
she's still there.
I'm sure she is. I had to leave the next couple days later. But I mean, I don't think we would have had a lot of deep conversations. But what was her name? Mengzhu, or for something like...
Look her up, everyone.
Yeah, everyone look her up. I don't know where QQ how.
Google
There's not many blondes in Dandong, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
blonde in Dandong.
those are great stories, you guys. Thanks for sharing them and divulging all your secrets to us here on Dear Amber today. Well, that's it for this week's Dear Amber, the insider's guide to everything China. So don't forget to send all your questions about China or culture in China to dearamber@praxislanguage.com or just to my profile on ChinesePod.com. And don't forget to go to the comments section of Dear Amber today and leave your insights about what we talked about today. We look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you next week on Dear Amber. 下一次见.